Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy. Welcome back to Call the Damn Leads. I'm Drewbie Wilson, the host with more than 2 decades in sales. I've seen it, been through it, heard about it. Now I'm bringing it to you. And guess what, y'all? It's 2025. I am, a year into this podcast now. We've done episodes with countless amazing sales professionals, entrepreneurs, small business owners. We've heard some incredible stories, some hilarious stories. We've gotten some great content out of those individuals. But, I really feel like this year I want to bring more of that call the damn leads flavor. I want to bring more of the content that I know is going to help you get dialed in for 2025 and beyond so that you can truly build a sales process, a sales program that's going to help you take over your industry, your marketplace, whatever goals you've set for yourself. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help give you those tactics and the ideas. And today I want to talk about something that I know has really become an important part of sales training and really personal development as a whole. And what I know as a sales professional, if you work on personal development, you're literally going to start to understand that that's what entrepreneurship really is. It's a personal development path with a pay plan attached. Because when you get better as a person, as a professional, you start making more money, you start having more fun, you start living more of the life that you want to live. And, it's, I think, a week into the year right now. Everybody came in hot and heavy with their resolutions. And, then as soon as life got back to normal after we got out of the holiday swing, reality set in. And some of you have probably had a day like this in sales where you showed up and it just seems like everything is falling apart. The deals that you thought were going to close disappeared on you. Clients that are supposed to be going to closing, they're ghosting. They're not responding to your calls. Maybe your systems aren't working. I know there's a lot of people that are changing over into new CRMs and new processes for the year. And ultimately, the thing that happens when you start using a new system or process, you break it. And some of you have been using the same old broken systems and processes for years and years to come. And what it's caused you to do is build up an amount of resilience. And that's what I think is really important for today. And what I want to talk about is the resilience and how important it is to you and your success in sales. Because if you've ever had one of those bad days, if you've ever been told no, if you've made your 100 calls and you've been rejected left and right and had the door slammed in your face, like, it sucks. It's not fun. No one loves being rejected. I mean, we didn't sign up to be sales professionals so that we could put on clown makeup and literally go get laughed at all day long. I know that's not the case, or we would have just gone to clown college, but none of us went to clown college, I don't think, unless you're a professional clown. In that case, that's awesome. I want to hear some stories. Hit me up. But most of us went to the school of hard knocks. We had to go through some struggles, some hard times. A lot of us, I've met so many that have come out of the streets or come out of drug addiction or, come from these major, major places where they were making a whole lot of money and then lost it all. Some of you, went through the depression in 2008 when everything went haywire in the housing market. So you've seen the ups and downs. You've been a part of COVID when it was up and when it was down, and you've learned to develop resilience. And that resilience is something that most people have to work through and understand that it's actually a superpower. Because when you can show up and get laughed at, be told no, deal with rejection, work through systems and processes that are broken or clunky or outdated, it's really making you stronger. It's making you more effective. It's developing your skill set and your ability to adapt to change. And I don't know how much of this you know about, biology because you're in sales, but that's what Darwinism is. That is literally changing and evolving so that you can continue to grow and, be successful in the life. That's the coolest thing about it. And sales is the same way. And when you learn to be more resilient and you learn to deal with those rejections without turning to addiction or outlets that cause additional damage over time, you can start to see this crazy compounding effect. You ever met somebody that was in like a relationship and it seemed like all well and good, and then it just went totally sideways and you lose them? It's like a friend, they disappear for a few months, they go dark. We've all seen those memes where it's like, disappear for 6 months, shut everyone out, come back a champion. That's where resilience is built. That's where you go into your personal mode and you find that lane, you find that inner alter ego, that character, that person that is on the path to the success that you want. But you have to start developing that resilience. And so how can you do that? Well, start gamifying it. A lot of people, when I meet them in sales, what they do is they start to gamify the process, and it's like, how many no's can I get before we get to a yes? Which seems like a silly game. Why would you try to go for no? Well, if you get enough no's, eventually you might either learn something and realize, hey, the way that I'm going about this process, it doesn't work. The script that I'm using isn't getting the result that I want, so I probably need to make some changes. Well, that's growth, that's adaptation, that's evolution. Maybe you start gamifying it and you're like, hey, I'm going to go for 100 no's today. And what you realize is that by doing that day after day after day after day, not only does it build your resiliency and your ability to show up and put a smile on, but it's almost inevitable that you're going to get better just by doing the reps. And when you do the reps and you develop the form and the skill, ultimately you start to see that you're going to get a lot less no's and a lot more yeses, which is the goal. Because if we're trying to help people and we're trying to serve them, we want them to say yes to the next part of the process, so long as that's getting them the thing that they desire, the result, the solution. But you've got to learn to be resilient. You've got to learn how to show up and take that no and reframe it. When someone's in a bad mood and they're trying to transfer that energy to you, how can you carry that over and coach them and teach them how to reframe that thought process and see it in a different light? Because ultimately, this doesn't just apply in sales. This applies in your life, in your relationships, in your health. If you can be resilient, if you can push through the hard times in any of those areas, on the other side is almost always the thing that you've been wanting. There's so many quotes out there, and the cliche is, the thing that you want is on the other side of the work that you're putting off. Well, guess what? You're putting it off because you don't want to go through the struggle. You don't want to go through the pain. I understand that. No one really wakes up every day and is just like, I'm going to beat myself up and I'm going to go get yelled at and told no and called names. It's not typical. I mean, there are some people out there that are into that, and I'm not judging you if that's your thing, but most of us don't want that. Most of us want to wake up. We want to live our life. We want to be happy. We want to smile. We want to serve others. And the best way to do that is to just keep showing up. Develop that sales resiliency. Develop your skill set. And when you get told no, do a recap. Analyze what went wrong in this pitch. What went wrong during the conversation? Where did they have an objection that I didn't have the answer for? Because I promise you, most people, they're not mad at you. They're having their own day. They're having their own life situations. People are so selfish and worried about themselves that them yelling at you or telling you to kick rocks or whatever, it's just a reflection upon them. It's not a reflection upon you. So build that resilience. Understand that by taking that and gamifying it, using the ability to reframe scenarios in a more positive light, that's what sets you up to be a leader. And, as a leader in your family, in your community, in your business, it's important that they see you as a resilient individual. That's what motivates and inspires them to show up and keep going when things get hard. If you've ever had one of those managers that has a case of the effits, and we're working on our language this year, but you ever have someone that just shows up and they're like, man, forget about it. It's over. It's Monday. The tools aren't here. The system's broken. Just forget it. Just forget it. Forget it all. We're out of here. Is that being resilient? Is that setting a good example for your staff or your team? Are they going to feel inspired or motivated in that sense? Probably not. We've all seen that individual. We've all met that individual. Heck, some of us have been that individual. But if you want to take this into the next level in 2025, if you want people to see you as resilient, if you want them to see you as having this ability to handle anything and everything that comes your way, you got to set the example. When the struggle comes in, you got to put the smile on and you got to give them the old Jocko Willing, the good. Oh, we didn't get the supplies. Good. Put it on. Be resilient. Show the others what's possible. And I promise you, just in doing that, by setting that example, your whole team is going to see and achieve things far greater than they ever imagined. But it's all going to come back to you and your ability to develop resiliency in sales. Now, if you like this episode, share it, subscribe, tell people about it, send us a note. We're going to be doing some more of this tactical training because I think this is some stuff that people need to see, they need to talk about, they need to understand. Because sales is more than just funny stories and making money. It's about helping people. It's about developing the skill sets that you need to reach that next level. And if you like this, you want to learn more, head over to callthedamnleads.com. Check us out. We'd love to see what you got going on in your world and how we can help you take it to that next level.